This video is sponsored by absolutely fucking no one, because who the hell gives a shit about this show anyways. My name is Diego. Let's get right into this. So recently there have been protests within the country. I'm talking about the United States. I live here. Within the country regarding the new president, regarding Donald Trump. And these debates have been debates. What the fuck am I talking about? Diego, you're a dumbass. Well, I know I'm a dumbass. This is the whole point. Get back to the fucking shit. Okay, fine. So the whole point of these protests was to, protest against Trump, saying this man is not my president. I did not vote for them, and mostly it's been what's called the Women's March. If I'm reading this article on New York Times, and apparently it's considered a women's march, as the title of the story says. Defiant voices flood U.S. cities as women's rally for rights. So, the day after what many had assumed would be the inauguration of the first female president, hundreds of thousands of women flooded the streets of Washington, and many more marched in cities across the country in defiant, jubilant rallies against the man who defeated her. Okay, right off the bat, I get it. You're trying to set in the fact that the woman Hillary Clinton did not win the presidency and Donald Trump won the presidency. However, I think you could be a little less biased. New York Times, I'm not calling you out. You're very I read you more than I read the LA Times, and I live in LA. But anyways, so it's saying about how all these protesters are protesting across the country. It says the marches were the kickoff of what their leaders hope to be a sustained campaign of protest in a polarized nation, riven by an election that raised unsettling questions about American values, out-of-touch elites, and barriers to women's ambition. So, this whole protest that had been going on was to protest Donald Trump in particular. It was a sustained campaign of protest in a polarized nation. I don't really know what that means. Sustained campaign, so that means a steady campaign. I'm assuming they mean the protests in a polarized nation. Polarized, I'm not sure what they mean by that. Riven by an election, so by the election being Donald Trump's election, that raised unsettling questions about American values. It raised questions about what the hell was really going on. Out of touch elites, misogynists, sexist people, all that shit, racists, and barriers to women's ambitions. So it's basically saying, like, this really raised the question, are we taking a step back in society instead of going forward? I guess so. So, on Saturday, in what amounted to a counter-inauguration, the speakers, performers, and marchers proclaimed allegiance to a profoundly different vision of the nation. They voiced determination to protect an array of rights that they believe Mr. Trump threatens and what they thought were only recently secure. So I guess what they mean by this is that now that Trump is president, he's going to be able to take all these laws or rights that women in particular had. I think I know where they're going with this. I think this is all about the whole pro-choice, pro-life thing. If you don't know, pro-choice means a woman has the right to do whatever she wants with her body. So if a woman is, let's say, gets pregnant on accident, or she is sexually assaulted or raped, she has the right to go to an abortion clinic and get an abortion, because she's given that right. She's given that choice to do whatever she wants with her body. Now, pro-lifers, usually when you're pro-life, it also corresponds with religion. I'm not saying all pro-lifers are like this. Most pro-lifers are like this. I've read about. I don't really meet that many pro-lifers. I live in LA. It's very pro-choice. But anyways, a lot of pro-lifers, they're all about religion, saying God had it intended this way. This and this. It's all really about like how religion says a woman cannot kill her own child, or some bullshit like that. And some pro-lifers, they outright say it's murder. What you're doing is murder, which really it isn't. It's a woman's choice. She's birthing, she's carrying that child, and when the fetus is in the first trimester, it really hasn't developed yet. So when they perform an abortion, it hasn't really developed to a body yet, so you can't really say it's murder. It's more like just removing cells. I haven't really had an abortion. I'm a man. So, but I get where they're coming from. I get why this is considered a women's march. And, I understand that, it's a very fucked up campaign this time. A lot of people, they're really pissed. I myself, I'm pissed not because of the whole women misogynistic thing, and I'm not pissed about the race thing. I'm just pissed about who he is as a person. Well, because I'm Latino. I'm Mexican Nicaraguense. So my mother was born in Mexico and my father was born in Nicaragua. So I'm I'm mixed. But people would think, "Oh, he must be offended about the race issues." No, I'm not really offended about the race issues. People say whatever they want. People are racist all the time. You can't really stop them. It's how people are. And I'm not an exception to this. When I was little, I used to be like a little racist. I used to say a lot of bad things about white people. I still say a lot of bad things about white people. I'm still kind of, yeah. But anyways, we all have our little racial slurs. Maybe we say it not knowing that it's bad. We all say it. It doesn't really matter. It's in society. But the thing that angers me is the way that this man was able to stand on a podium in front of thousands of people and talk, and he was like, we're going to build a wall and we're going to make Mexico pay for it because Mexico is sending its rapists and its Mexico is sending its rapists and its drugs and its crime and this and this and this. I haven't really met any Mexican people in my life that have done crimes. I've met white people that have committed crimes. I have. Now, is that saying anything about white people? No, it's not. It's saying something about that particular person. You can't generalize people based on their race. That's like saying, it's just, he's being racist, and he's saying it in front of thousands of people, and no one gives a shit. Everyone's like, yes, thank the Lord. Thank this man, Donald Trump. He is saying what we want to hear. And then he goes on about the wall. The fuck is this guy thinking about a wall? Do you know how much money it would cost to build a wall? It would put our country in more financial debt than we're already in. It really would. We're fucked. And another reason why I'm pissed, like my mom, I was talking to my mom a while back, and she said, "Diego, why are you so angry about the elections?" I'm like, well, because in 2 years, one of these two is going to be president, and I'm going to be a full-grown adult. What does that say? That says that in 2 years, whatever changes one of them makes, it could affect me in a negative way. That being said, it could also have affected me in a positive way. I don't really know. I have 2 more years. Well, yeah, 2 more years until I find out what exactly is going to happen. So, it's really scary. And, I think that he, as a person, thrives on all the media attention, all the negative media attention that he gets. Trump, I am going on about Trump. He is the new president. Mr. President, go fuck yourself. Thank you. But anyways, I think I feel like he as a person thrives off of all the negative attention that he gets on social media and in the news. But even then, he also gets a lot of positive attention on some social media. Like, you have those people who are like, this man is great, he's going to make our country great again. By the way, that whole Make America Great Again thing is really weird. That's like saying that America was never great. I'm pretty sure there are some points where America was great. And the fact that you're saying that you're going to make America great again proves that you had this certain mindset of America. Maybe When you said again, that means that sometime in your early life, America was great. Now, since Donald Trump is a relatively older gentleman, that means that when he's saying "Make America Great Again," he could have been talking about America when he was a child, which could be, I'm guessing, around the 50s or 60s. You know, when racism was still around, segregation was still very popular, and white people were always on top. No offense to all white people. I love you, white people. White lives matter, but orange lives don't. Anyways, so the whole thing, maybe he's got this whole mindset. He wants to set America back again. They started posting these memes like, "Oh, remember to turn your clock back 300 years." I think he's just trying to like, I don't know. I really don't know how to describe it. I feel like maybe we as a country are overreacting. Maybe this guy isn't going to be as bad as some other presidents. I mean, he may have a very negative impact, but I don't feel like he could do that much harm. Also, I had this certain mindset at the beginning of the campaign that I thought, like, oh, if Donald Trump wins, I want him to give a speech in front of the whole country and say, "You're all fucking idiots. I don't know why you voted for me." That just proves how stupid we are as a country. I'm going to do everything I can to fix this country and all its problems. I wanted him to say that. I wanted him to be like this nice guy, and he's just this racist, backwards asshole. And not only that, he's repealing a lot of the things Obama had put into action that helped. He's repealing Obamacare. You know how many people Obamacare saved? It's a lot of people, dude. A lot of people, they're on Obamacare. My sister, she couldn't afford healthcare, so she was actually on Obamacare, and she was going to be on it until she was 26, which was technically last year, but she was still on Obamacare, and she says, "I can't afford regular healthcare, and he's repealing Obamacare. How do you think that's going to affect me?" And I was honestly kind of pissed about it, because my sister was going to be negatively affected by the repealment of Obamacare. Not to mention, hold on, I can pull this up right now. It's just a lot of these things that he's like already taking into action. It's pissing a lot of people off. It's like, it's really making everybody mad. But apparently, beginning January 27th, most borrowers will now have to pony up 0.6% of their mortgage each month. So, apparently, Trump has signed an executive order to reverse Obama's mortgage fee bill. Apparently, what that means is it has to do with you're gonna end up having to pay more on a mortgage, which is when you open up a mortgage on a house. I think it's like it's helping you pay for that house. I don't really know. I just know that it's gonna end up making people have to spend more money. And like I was saying with Obamacare, apparently Trump said in an interview, he said, "Well, I pay for my own health care. Everyone should too." And I'm like, "Oh, you're like really fucking rich. You pay for your own fucking health care? So what? The rest, some of us can't afford it, man. We're just trying to get by. And then we just sit here and some of us end up dying." It's a fucked up world we live in, dudes. Anyways, that's all the time I have right now. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really felt like coming on here and talking about it with you guys. And leave any comments about it, how you feel about what's going to happen. Share this video, like it, subscribe, guys. I'm always here. Well, that's me, Diego, signing out.